Hey bitch, you see my suit is red? You see this thunderbolt that's sitting on top of my head? I got the new Jordans on, I'm running fast as shit. So when the in the building, bitch, flash them tits, I'm like, hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah.
Hey, my gummy bear nerds, back with the first real video in a long while. And it's going to be sort of a kind of like review episode of one of the more recent Dragon Ball Super episodes. As in, everybody's been going a little bit crazy. Everybody's thinking that Kefla, you guys remember her? Hey, slut. Yeah, finally out the ring. That was pretty much one of, if not the only good thing that episode did. It's basically get her out the fucking ring finally, and hopefully next to go is Brienne. Her episode is next, so I hope she finally fucking dies. And then everything would be go. Everything would be gauche. Everything would be good. Now, quick little thing here. You know, everybody's like, you know, why is Kefla so overpowered and stuff like that? Look, as far as you really, if you really want to know the truth of Kale and Caulifia, like why are they so powerful and stuff like that, sure, the series is writing them to be a little bit overpowered, you know, taking it a step too far with the Saiyans from Universe 6 power being, you know, at a higher rate of potential. You know, and there's hints of that everywhere, like when Kaba explains to Vegeta about, you know, why his Saiyans don't have tails, like they evolved past that point. And as we know, I believe it's the recessive gene, as it pushes down within the line, and it pushes down within the line of your genes, the stronger it becomes. Hence why Goten and Trunks are such prodigies, and they were able to become Super Saiyans at such young ages. This is kind of a way to explain a little bit about why Universe 6 Saiyans have such great potential. Even while in their base states, they far exceed that of the likes of Goku when he was at their age. Considering they're still pretty young, I'd say they're teenagers. If you guys remember Goku as a Saiyan, you know, when he was a teenager, he was nowhere near as powerful as Kaba, Caulifia, or even Kale for that matter. Although with Kale, she was kind of a little bit more scary, so I think Goku could have taken her, maybe. I mean, his hits would have probably been too weak, but I feel like at the start of the tournament, she would have been way too scared to really even fight him. So I feel like he could have taken her, maybe. You know, we don't know. But still, you know, that's kind of the way I explain it away, and that Caulifia specifically is, well, she's a prodigy among prodigies. So her potential is exponential. Also, and I know people are not going to like to hear this, the other reason it goes in is, you know, Japan is somewhat of a progressive society when it comes to adapting westernized culture into it. And one thing that you can see among that is in certain anime, mostly it's played up for comedic purposes, but in certain anime they do add in a little bit of Western politics, and in the sense that, and it's going to play into what I'm going with Caulifia, in the sense that if you actually look at Caulifia and even Kale's characters, I mean, it's a clear depiction that they represent westernized feminism. And if anybody knows what westernized feminism is today, it's absolute shit, and it's just a bunch of man-hating, ball-busting women, okay? Just absolute rubbish. And rubbish that I have to, like, speak on a little bit. Now, I won't go into too much detail, but you can definitely see it. Like, look at the fact of her and Kale's relationship. They're basically pseudo-lesbians, and they won't come out and say it. This is a trope that girls can't get within 10 feet of each other and not find attraction, that they want to bang each other, and kind of that they just want to be friends, but friends who want to bang each other. That's a part of it. You know, you can't get any comfort from enjoying maleness, but you can't get comfort from enjoying other females. Now, that's not really a big issue, as in I don't have a problem with lesbians myself. It's just doing it right versus doing it wrong. And The fact that they're pseudo lesbians kind of paints the bigger picture because they're not explicitly said that. But beyond that, you could just look at Caulifla's character, as in she reduces achievements by men to something as minuscule as the whole anything you can do, I can do better. I believe Shirley Temple, right? Yeah. Don't at me on that one. But basically, and that's what boils down to why Super Saiyan is now reduced to a tingly in the back. You see pain, sweat, and struggle that these guys went through. And then it's like Caulifla comes in, and then she's superior to everything. And just little hints like that. Like, I take you back to the scene where, what's his name is, Champa is handing them earrings, right? Okay, so generally earrings are deemed as more feminine, as in more girls would typically wear that type of jewelry. But instead of, because we know that the Batar earrings, it doesn't matter who or what you are, they look badass, okay? Like, they're just something to give you a badass transformation. And I know good and damn well, I mean, Kefla probably would, but I know good and damn well if she had any brains, she wouldn't walk up to Vegeta and say, huh, your earrings, they're so fucking feminine and stuff like that, okay? You know good and damn well she wouldn't do that. She get stumped harder than even when Ultra Instinct Goku stumped her. But, well, not Ultra Instinct Goku, but, you know, just Goku in general. I'm sorry. I was still thinking about the match last night, and I was just so happy that Kefla got knocked out. But, you know, that's besides the point. So, like, her and Kale both hand their earrings to Kaba because, you know, see, and if they had just said that, oh, it's not really my style, I would understand that. As Kale does come off as a stereotypical badass chick because women can't be strong in any other way unless they're being extremely badass and don't need no man. Well, which is fine. I want all the stuff out of my Dragon Ball, but it's fine. Whatever. I mean, they're handing their rings to Kaba over there because it's like, this isn't my style, and so she's saying that something that would be seen as more feminine is dedicated to something that's seen as a weakness or something that's weaker, you know. And then, so by extension, she hands the rings to Kaba, who recently, within Tournament's power, you know, has kind of shown that he is what they call a male ally. But, you know, he's kind of a cuck. For the most part, kind of a cuck, and he even gets cucked down. You know, like, he just gets thrown to the wayside, you know, and seen as a weaker male, or that males in general are seen weaker by that scene. Thus why they hand the earrings to Kaba, because since he is seen as weaker by extension of not only him being a male, but because he is kind of being a cuck. You know, don't get me wrong, he had some cool moments in Tournament of Power, but for the most part, and while he's on the stands with the peanut gallery, a gigantic cuck. Yes, they're handing it to him because he is viewed as weaker. And, you know, it's like I said, I want this out of my Dragon Ball because, you know, I hate it. I hate seeing it because guess what? You know the fight that everybody brings up when they want to say, oh, Dragon Ball had problematic fights, or, you know, they had fights that were too evil and too disturbing to watch. You know the only fight they bring up? None of the fights where people get dismembered, die, or injured, or severed so injurely that they're never able to walk again, or, you know, never able to fight again. And guess what scene they pull up? It's the Videl scene, you know, where, you know, Spopovich, granted, you know, the only I'll give that scene is among the other many disturbing fights in DBZ, that scene did have a little bit of a rapey tone, but come on. just look at the fight between Raccoon and Kid Gohan. You want to talk about rapey, pedophilic tones, especially with Raccoon's more flamboyant nature. Yeah, so I love how child murdering is subsequently not as disturbing as a woman who is a fighter who knows what she's getting into, when she goes to go fight people, knowing that, you know, the tournament itself is not sexist and decides, you know, that no matter who or what you are, you can be strong in your own unique ways, and that you may be stronger than somebody else. This includes women being stronger than men, or men being stronger than women, based off of their skills, powers, and abilities. And so it decides to let everyone in and everyone take a try. But, you know, it's problematic because she took a few knees to the face. Oh yeah, and got her head stumped on. Anybody remember when Frieza literally was crushing Gohan's skull? Yeah, when he did the exact same thing. And we got this child over here, but nah, that's not problematic. When Raccoon literally broke his neck, that's not problematic. Okay, literally all the Namekians who were slaughtered, that's not problematic. Literally all the people that Cell, men included, that Cell was literally sucking up through his fucking vagina, that's not problematic. No. I mean, disturbing scenes? Nah, I mean, it's only disturbing when one chick gets kneed in the face. I mean, TFS does this best because, you know, they play to it too. Because if anybody remembers in Dragon Ball where Goku knocks Chi-Chi out with a gust of air, you know, the shockwave of his punch. And the way TFF plays it is he looks like, you know, because they call him a hillbilly, so he's supposed to be like those country southerners who beat their wives, sleep with their sisters, and all that. Sorry, I don't have a good country accent, but it's supposed to be representative of that. Hence why they call him a hillbilly and stuff like that. So he knocked his wife out, and so he's a wife beater. He put a baby in her, of course, and then now all she does is raises the kid, because, you know, the housewife is meant to look at as weakness instead of a strength, which it is a strength, not a weakness, but it's meant to be looked at as that, because, you know, it says that she stays home, you know, cooks his food, and, you know, raises his kid. Now, if you want to get all political about it, that's fine. You know, if you feel that, because nobody's saying that, you know, women can go out there and work, can go out there and do things for themselves, but that doesn't mean you demean housewives. I mean, what? But anyway, I'm sorry, guys. I usually tend to ramble, but yeah. So Kale and Caulifia both are, you know, part of this agenda, and you see it in other anime too. You know, like, you know, you just got this chick who emasculates men. You know, she's superior to anything that they do. Like, if they can do it, she can do it 100 times fucking better. All guys are essentially cucks compared to her. Oh yeah, and she's supposed to be dominating, and, you know, just all around badass who can beat up anybody, you know, she fucking wants to. I mean, she talks nasty, she doesn't act ladylike or whatever at all, and you know, because that's seen as weakness. And anything feminine is just disregarded as trash and given to the male counterparts. So, yes, they definitely follow within this agenda. And this is the first time anime has delved into it. But, you know, it's like, it's something that I don't want to see Dragon Ball reach. But, anyway, and I don't want people to think that, you know, I'm hating on women or whatever. Or, you know, I think that whatever, you know, just random shit that people like to come up with, and, you know, call me sexist and misogynist. But, you know, it's whatever. I'm just expressing to you how they play into the agenda, which they do. But that's not the whole point, because you can look past that, and that's what I'm trying to do, and just focus on the power aspect. And now to get into the kind of like review part of this. So everybody was like just kind of like all over the place with like, oh, she's the strongest Ultra Instinct. Yeah. I mean, there were so many contradictory statements in this episode. But so essentially, there is nothing to suggest that she's as strong as Ultra Instinct. Even when Ultra Instinct was weakened, he still managed to overpower not only her, and I'm talking about Kefla, okay, not Caulifia as an individual, but I'm talking about Kefla. He was able to overpower her and literally also overpower the fusion. That's right, overpower the fusion, causing both of them to defuse. And this is why he was literally weakened and stamina drained. Okay, his Ultra Instinct was weakened and his stamina was draining. Okay, so yeah, the only reason that he wasn't hitting her as hard as he could have is because, you know, he hadn't mastered the attack portion of Ultra Instinct. you know, he was limiting himself because he was still thinking, he was focusing on his attacks to gauge their effectiveness, which is a problem. He wasn't attacking, he was more so thinking about what attack would be good to use, and that was limiting him as well as his physical strength and all that aspect. But so it was wise, and you know, as we explained, and that's why it was wise of him to use the Kamehameha wave, because you know his raw power still far exceeds Kefla. So if he just, you know, releases that in a gigantic gust, you know, it would definitely have given him the victory. As in, you know, any other attack that he would have used would have definitely maybe caused him to lose. Which, you know, everybody, I guess everybody also thinks that she's comparable to Ultra Instinct because, you know, Krillin and them, the peanut gallery, as we, you know, we call them, is like, oh, if Goku get hit by her laser attack, you know, he's gonna be fucking done for or whatever. Which is like, that's not necessarily the case. I would say, in the fact that if he was at a full Ultra Instinct, most likely it wouldn't have done any damage, but considering that his stamina was being drained and the Ultra Instinct was taking a physical strain on him, and the fact that it was leaving him, which is why he needed to do a final attack to begin with, is more so the reason for why that attack would have hurt him. Because, you know, all her energy was being burst out, in which, as we all know, a person's energy can far exceed their natural limitations and power. So Kefla's energy could have definitely been way stronger than her actual power. So to say that she rivals him by her power is a little bit subjective. I mean, we've seen characters do it before. Like, take the self-destructing, for instance. It pushes you way past your physical limitations, exceeding your actual power. So her power itself, not to mention, she did gain limitless potential, so she was essentially an almost infinite wellspring of power that was bubbling up out of her. I mean, she even got so powerful at one time that she confidently said that she could blow up a universe with one attack, which I wouldn't put it beside her, because I will say that she's stronger than the initial God mode Goku, who could literally destroy an entire macrocosm. But you know, if you really want to say that she's at, I mean, universal levels, or if you really want to say that she's not at universal levels, that's fine too. You know, I don't really care. But overall, you know, basically, I just wanted to get my points out the way and explain to people that no, she's not Ultra Instinct level, and it's only really suggested. I know, everybody's gonna be like, well, what we said was that probably specifically talking about her energy, and as I already explained, that does not automatically equate to her power. Her energy itself, which as we've been seeing was bubbling to near infinite levels, that her energy itself was what was comparable to the Spirit Bomb, you know, and it basically rendered Goku back to a state to where he can access Ultra Instinct. Now, another big difference is the Spirit Bomb did it while Goku was at his peak, and Kefla did it while Goku was heavily weakened. And hell, even Goku was still comparable to her as an SSJ-1, even while he was weakened. I mean, clearly shown by his statements and everything like that he was making throughout their fight. But that's kind of like the end right there. Trust me, I know it gets a little bit weird or whatever, but trust me, she's not Ultra Instinct level. She's clearly not even against a weakened Ultra Instinct. But the fact that, you know, she could compare to, at bare minimum, Goku Blue at full power is very problematic. It is very problematic, you know, and it's fine. She's not Ultra Instinct level, but you know, it's scary to think about what she could become in the future with the power that she's at, definitely now. So yeah, that's kind of the end of everything I wanted to talk about. So anyway, I am sorry that, you know, we haven't really made a video in a while. Shit got messed up with me, guys, and I potentially, you know, because I had so many videos done. Like, I know I was doing
the bass that makes me wet. Dirty low frequencies, I want a feeling down to me. Big fat pick, oh my god, I want that shit.
I was cruising that Ruby marathon like it was nothing but Ruby videos, but when shit gets fucked up. But guys, we are coming back, and we're going to be officially back very soon, so that's all you gotta know. So gather around the round table, children. Let's go. Let's go. We're back in action, okay? Into the subscriber polls, okay? So like, favor, and subscribe, guys.
I just be running. They say I'm like the fastest man alive and shit. I mean, I guess that's why I run away from my problems so much.
Fast money, fast cars, fast bitches. That triple F life is with that young king. Living, he run fast as what? Got no deodorant on, cause he never sweats, especially over no bitch up in the club. They say his speed manipulates time and space, so he went back in time to fuck Pocahontas' face.
Hey, what up there, my gummy knights? If you are new here to the round table, be sure to like, subscribe, and await the time for when we go on our next adventure together.